Hi, Mike from OBR ADV Gear. Today we're going to talk about our new 38-liter adventure holster system, the 2.0. More specifically, we're going to talk about once you receive this, how do you install it? And so we'll be going through what you have to do to complete a proper fitment of the system to your particular motorcycle, and then how you secure it down. We'll also be talking about installation of the accessory D-ring strap that's included. So that way, when you receive this, this is a completely optional accessory, which gives you certain attachment points from underneath the saddle on the forward part of your motorcycle. Some motorcycles are a little bit lacking in areas that you can actually secure to, so that's what this particular piece is, and we'll go over the real quick and easy process of installing this. But if you do choose to run this, you will need to install this accessory strap before you install 38-liter holster. So to install the accessory D-ring strap, it's very simple. You just need to remove your saddle, roll it up, and then decide where at you want this system or this strap to reside. It may take some trial and error, once you lay down the position for the 38-liter holster. But anywhere on your saddle here, as long as it's not interfering with any electrical or your locking mechanism, should you have it, you're good to go. But this shows you right here, this accessory D-ring strap, it just simply lays across the subframe of the motorcycle, and when you reinstall your saddle, it'll lock it down. That's what we'll do right now. Okay. Okay. So I've reinstalled the saddle. It's actually pinched down on that accessory strap, and it's holding it in position. And now this gives me a D-ring attachment point right here. So when I have the holster mounted in the cross here, if I'm strapping down, again, a dry duffel, a tent, sleeping bag, whatever it is, and I'm searching for an attachment point, this provides that. So this is how you install the accessory D-ring strap that's included with your Rackless 38-liter saddlebag system. Now you have your new 38-liter Adventure 2.0 Rackless holster, and you're ready to install it to your motorcycle. The first thing you're going to want to do is kind of decide or get an idea of where that holster system needs to lay. It comes with the cradle strap pre-assembled across the top. This is the final strap that is it's a security strap. It's not 100% necessary, but what it does is once you've adjusted the proper width of the system for your motorcycle, you'll reinstall this, and then it locks it in place. Once you put contents within your holsters, it tensions it down, and it just locks everything. So what you need to do is you will need to unthread the cradle strap. Pay attention to how it's threaded through the buckles. You might even take a photo of it that you can refer back to it, but what you want to do is just go through and remove it. And this is the part here. Pay attention to, again, how the strap goes through, and then around the back side, and then back through the tri-glide buckles. Hang on to your one wrap, because you'll need to use that to secure the tails. Now, you don't have to completely remove it 100%. You can remove it to this point where it's still attached to the far side, and then you can just roll it back. So this is a heavily padded area because it has 2 layers of the 6-pound foam. But within that is a hook and loop panel, and this is what you're going to use to adjust to the width of your motorcycle. What you want to look at when you're fitting it is you have this piece of webbing across here where you have your D-rings on the top here. You want this piece of webbing to run right about to the top edge of your saddle. Now, obviously on adventure saddles, they're wider. When you get into more of the dual sport applications, they're narrower. So as is right now, the way this is preset, it really fits this saddle almost perfectly. So if I was looking at this, I'd look down on this and say, this is perfectly where I want it. I'd relock it, and then I'd go to securing the rear anchor points and the front anchor points. If you have if you need it wider, peel it up, reattach it, so it widens it out. Again, looking at this piece of webbing across here as your reference point to the edge of the saddle. If you need to narrow it up, what you'll need to do is we've provided a provision here where this is a fold point of this padding. And what you'll do there, when you bring this in, this will fold under, like so. And the reason we do that, because I just brought that in so it will fit a narrower saddle, and then it folds in like such, so that way it doesn't interfere with this locking buckle. Because when we bring this back down and through, and then we re-thread this on, it's going to lock all that. It's going to lock that into position, and then it holds that adjustment for that narrower saddle. So that folding provision here, that's what that's for. That's for if you have, again, more of a dual sport, the smaller displacement bikes, anything that has a narrower saddle. That allows you to narrow that up while still maintaining functionality of that locking system. But for this application, we want to put it back where we had it, like so. Secure that back down. Recheck our width again. I want this webbing to run along the top edge. That's where it is. Now I'm going to take that buckle, or excuse me, the cradle strap that we previously unthreaded, and now I'm going to run it back through. Now what you want to do is you want to come in from the underside, and this is why I recommend you take a hard look at this so you can remember this, or take a photo of it. But go in from the underside, back down through the top, and then pull that back through. Doesn't have to be super tight, but you want to just take the slack out of it. And once you're happy with that, you bring it back around the top, and you go from the top down, and then pull that back in just like that, just like so. And you can look at it and you say, well, maybe you want that a little bit tighter. If you need it tighter, pull a little slack in that. Pull some of the slack out of here. Tighten this up, and then pull that back in. Take a look. Yeah, see, maybe that's a little bit too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push a little bit back through, and then from the underside, I'm going to pull that, loosen it up just a hair. There, that's perfect. So this obviously is a standalone strap, but what we're doing is we're kind of creating a closed loop. So once we've ran it back through this tri-glide, we're going to again run it through this one, like so. Okay. Making sure that that's where I want it tension-wise. And again, we're just taking the slack out of it, and then come back through the top. And then pull that through. That right there helps lock that into position. Now you have two choices at this point. If you know this is where it's always going to be, you can take a pair of scissors or a hot knife, and you can shorten this tail. If you use a hot knife and cut it, that singes the edge, and you don't have to do anything further to it. If you take a pair of scissors, then you want to take a lighter, and you want to just kind of singe that raw edge to keep it from fraying. But you can see on this end here that it's singed, and so that way the fibers of the webbing don't ever fray out on you. Otherwise, just roll it up, like so. Take that piece of one wrap that it's included with. Run that around the bottom. And just secure that down. So that's how you adjust the width of the holster system to fit the particular saddle you have on your motorcycle. So the rear anchor straps that we have pre-attached to the system, because we feel that this loop strap is going to work for 98% of the applications. What you're going to do is you're going to take this guy, you're going to unthread it from the buckle, select whatever point it is on your system, run that strap through the loop, and it's just cinch it down. That's that simple. It runs through. In this particular case, I'm actually going to run this underneath this tail bag, like so. Back to the buckle. And then I'm going to run it through the buckle and back. All this strap is doing is establishing the distance, the position of the holster system on the saddle. You're not tensioning it back. We'll tension it forward with the front anchor straps here in a minute. But all this is simply it's a rear anchor. So when you tension the front, it'll give it something to anchor and tension against, pull against. But all you're doing right now is you're setting the position. So just keep that in mind. When you run this through the buckle and back, make your adjustments, get it where it needs to be, set the strap for that distance, and then that's it. You don't have to tension anything. So you run that through the buckle, and then we run this back. Set that tail where you feel it needs to go. In this particular case here, I want to run this underneath the edge of the Sherpa tail bag. So, and now we've established the rear anchor straps, and again, the rear anchor straps are only establishing the position of where you want the holster system to sit across your saddle. You're not tensioning anything. You just want to set it evenly from both left and right because you have 2 points of attachment. The forward lower anchor strap is what's going to lock the system into position. When you're looking at where you want to attach it, obviously you got different options on different bikes. You may have a spot on the subframe. In this particular case here, we have passenger pegs with the mounting bracket that gives us a nice attachment point. It's actually in good alignment, but I may actually want to go to the frame here. You want to maintain a little bit of, for lack of a better term, maybe triangulation or angle on your lower or your front anchor strap. If you're going someplace a little bit forward and a little bit higher, where it's going to maybe want to pull the holster up a little bit, you can make an adjustment with the Velcro flaps up here. When you're adjusting the width, you can actually rotate that, so that way it'll kind of flare the holsters up a little bit. So if you're going down more forward or up higher, you can make some adjustment here, which then will help accommodate the angle. But for this bike and for this setup, I think the perfect point is going to be actually right here off of that passenger peg bracket. So to adjust that, we pop the one wrap off of here. Want to basically pull the strap around. I like to have the ladder lock buckle positioned kind of right below the leading edge of the actual holster. Now, pull this through, and then go ahead and pull that through our anchor point. Make sure I don't have any twists in the webbing, which it looks like I do, so we'll fix that. Okay, that comes back around. I'm going to run this back through the buckle. And you might find in some cases with some motorcycles, depending on what you're attaching to, the attachment points may be a little asymmetrical from left to right, meaning the attachment points aren't exactly in the same position. And that's totally fine. As long as you're getting you know, you have your rear anchor set in the rear, and you're getting tension down the front. That's all that's required to secure this into position. So once we have this established, I'm going to then reach around the back side. I'm going to basically pull the buckle up, and then I'll start pulling the slack out. You know, hold the back side here. Otherwise, if you don't hold the back side, being that this is not sewn or attached to the holster, there's a D-ring back here that it runs through. That's, again, this is a replaceable part, this particular strap. If you ever break one or you need one, you can contact us and we'll be happy to send you one. But this can be any strap. Again, this buckle right here, you know, this is rated for about 100 pounds. So that, like I said, this is a feasible link should your foot come off and contact the holster system. I would rather this buckle break and release than potentially cause an injury. So that's why we include a replacement buckle in our kit. So if this does break, you can basically snip this off, and then that replacement buckle again has that provision on there where you can run it back through the webbing and then reuse the strap. So anyway, you want to tension that down. And it doesn't take, you don't have to reef on it. It doesn't have to be super tight. It just needs to be have tension on it. Once you apply tension here, it then runs up through the access line of the holster system to that rear anchor, and it provides tension here, and then the system is locked in place. These are fairly long straps because depending on where you want to route it through, we try to give you enough length. At this point, again, you can cut it down, a pair of scissors, singe the edge, or use a hot knife, or you can roll up that tail, which is generally what I do, just because I never know if I'm going to be installing it into a different platform, different bike. You may have to roll out a couple times until you get it where you want it. Get it about there. Okay. And then I'll usually run the Velcro around both straps. I'll go all the way around the back side here, pull it back up around the front. Like that. Get it nice and snug. Strap it on there like so, and now you have a good clean bundle, good strap management. And again, the one wrap we use quite a bit on everything because it's very convenient, and it's readily available at home improvement stores. If you go into their hardware section, they usually have this. Plus, if you need some additional one wrap, again, we'll be happy to send it to you. So anyway, that's the front anchor point for the holster, and it's nice and secure, not going to go anywhere. And now it's ready for loading of the waterproof dry bags. Okay, now that we have the holster installed on your motorcycle, time to talk about the dry bag system. So you notice our holster system, actually, it's not a symmetrical system. It actually has some shape. So we got kind of a sloping angle on the back here, and it's more of a flatter, more lateral shape in the front. When we position it, being that we have MOLLE panels both front and rear, we position it thinking about where our position is going to be on the motorcycle, and if we are utilizing these MOLLE panels, we'll want to provide some space there. But again, the shape of take note of the shape of the saddlebag, or excuse me, the holster. Our dry bag system matches that in shape. So now what we want to do is we want to install the waterproof water bag into the holster. Right here, this is our main compression strap. This is an 1.5 inch strap with a side release buckle. So we can release that. And then we have upper compression Velcro straps. We'll release those. And when we do that, now the system opens up, and you can start to see those MOLLE panels, both front and rear. This is the locking strap that comes over the top. We undo that, and then now we will basically take our dry bag and insert it from the front into the holster. There is no left or right on these dry bags. They'll fit either side. Now our system is ready for loading. So now that we've preloaded the dry bag, you take the top. That's how you close it. You take that top edge and you want to roll this down 2 to 3 inches. If you have air trapped in here, what you can do is when you're rolling it, you can compress it, which helps kind of bleed out some of that air. So that's 2. I think we can get 1 more. There we go. And then to seal it, you just bring those 2 sides around to one another, just like so. Now you have a waterproof system. To lock it in, we're going to take the upper strap, we're going to run that through underneath the loop here, and then back to this buckle. Now we need to tension this. Undo the tri-glide, tension it down. Doesn't have to be super tight. Just like this. Pull this down, and then what you might once you've figured out where this needs to be, you can release the SRB, which then will open that up, and you can run your strap back through. That locks it, and then you can reclip your SRB. So now that you have this, the upper strap adjusted and clipped in, we recommend basically just rolling that whipping tail up, just like you did before, and securing it with the included one wrap. There. For compression, we're looking at the buckles in the front. You need to figure out what our length needs to be here. Generally, when you clip it together, it's good. You need to have your buckle somewhere in between these 2 loops, so centered on the holster. So in this case here, I need to open this up. And you open up your tails here. There we go. That releases the strap. Both the male part of the SRB and the female part of the SRB and the male of the SRB have the friction ramps in here. So all you need to do is get a little slack, open that up, and then tension it. Okay, kind of decided where that wants to be. If you feel like it needs to be a little bit tighter, you can unclip it, tighten it up, but usually that should be good right there. And then roll up that tail, and then you're going to want to run it right behind the buckle. By running it right behind the buckle, that locks it so it shouldn't loosen up on you. But notice I've got the buckle centered on the holster in between those loops. Let's see here. Get one. And our goal here is once we make these adjustments and we're riding throughout the day, we don't want things to start opening up on us. That's why we go through and we try to lock everything. Now on the upper part, you have another series of hook straps with hook and loop. Again, we can run those around, press that in, just like so. And that's our system loaded. And what we do, this system intentionally, this is at capacity. Obviously, I could fill it up a little bit more, and the dry bags are still a little bit higher. but we have intentionally designed this so it runs flat across here for specifically a dry duffel, or if you're putting another bag, dry bag or something across the top. This system is meant to run flat with minimal interference just for that purpose. These dry bags are sticking way up like so. It makes this space right here a little less usable. So you can see this has a very flat profile which matches the top of the seat. So this is our 38-liter Adventure Saddlebag system. It's again a holstered system with a waterproof dry bag, and this is what it looks like when it's loaded up and ready to go.